What's up, gems? What's up, gents? It's Natima Cherie, Queen Pen of TGI and the Diamond Riders, back with another episode of Hustle and Shine. I can't believe we're already at episode 7 of season 2, but here we are, and it's going to be a dope one. As always, I'm always excited to do this show, always excited to chat with you all, to impart wisdom, what I have to pour, and to give anything that's helping me in hopes that it helps you. So tonight is a really how can I say, it's not sensitive, but it is one that prompts a lot of debate and a lot of discord and disagreement on social media. And that is feminine and masculine energy, and which one some women have a hard time finding balance. And so I want to share with you all my journey in rebalancing my feminine energy. And I have some really dope guests that help me along the way. But before I bring them out, couple of announcements. And as y'all know, I try my best to start everything with intention and gratitude. So my intention, as I mentioned a moment ago, is to pour into you, is to share, is to inspire, encourage, edify, all of those positive words, inspire. Those are the things that I want to do. Those are the things I always want to do. If you disagree with something, I hope that you'll be open-minded to at least respect the alternative perspective, but not like debate it, because y'all know I don't do that. Like, I'm not arguing with you. So if you disagree with me, cool. Okay. But keep it to yourself. Okay. As always, be respectful in the comments and share this live. The other thing is gratitude. November is National Gratitude Month. And y'all know gratitude was a huge part of my healing, my savage healing journey. It was extremely instrumental in helping me find my way back to self. And so in all things, I am so grateful for our gems and gents, our hustle and shine supporters, for the Diamond Rider supporters, and all of my friends and sisters that are on the show tonight. I also want to do some thank yous and appreciation for several people on social media. Today, I had a very vulnerable and transparent moment about having to start over. I was a little bit bitter for like 5 minutes. I don't operate there normally, but I did have a moment of weakness and publicly shared how frustrated I was about having to start over. And many of you just poured into me and showed me so much love. I'm not saying I didn't expect it, but I didn't expect it, right? Sometimes on social media, people will assume you have everything together. Your life is so perfect. What could you possibly be unhappy about? And I received the complete opposite. I received a lot of love, a lot of, inspiring memes, and just so much positivity on my feed today and on that thread. So thank you. There's too many of you to name, but I just want to say thank you. Latoya, I saw you on there. Of course, my brother Tremel, I saw you. My brother Pote, I saw you. My sister Tanisha, I saw you. So thank you so very much for loving on me today and letting me just have my moment. Because if you go through my timeline, that moment lasted for like 5 minutes, and then I was right back to the positivity immediately following. So thank you. That is my gratitude. So I want to talk really quick before I bring my guest out about the topic. Tonight, we're speaking from the standpoint of she's the man. And the reason I'm calling this that is because I've been told that I'm too masculine many times, not recently, but at points in my life, I've been told that I'm extremely masculine, I'm too aggressive, I act like a dude, I'm emotionless, all these different things that would say you act like a man and that you're a man. And so I really wanted to not only address how that used to hurt me, but the work that I did to change that. I wanted to change that narrative and that perspective and that perception of me. And so I'm going to share tonight some of the things that I did to do that. My guest, I have Javon Frazier, your guiding light. She'll be joining us tonight, and she taught me how to begin healing from my womb space, from my sacred space. And that was such a huge help for me. And so I'm inviting her on to talk to you tonight and share some of the same best practices she gave me. My sister Tanisha Levon, who is the founder of the Divine Feminine. She's also a Reiki master, a teacher. She has so many titles. I'm gonna let her introduce all of them to you herself. But she's the one who taught me how to show up and how to operate in my feminine gifts. like naturally and organically, and how to practice them to the point that they became a part of me. So I want her to come and share that with you. And then last but certainly not least, the voice of my life, my sister Miaka, she taught me how to just be still, how to be patient with myself, and how to celebrate my womanhood. Again, all things that I hope they will all impart and share with you tonight. So before I go on, I need to bring them out here. I need to get my sisters out here. I need their energy. I've had my wands all day for that positive energy. So I'm first going to bring out your guiding light, Miss Javon Frazier. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, how are you? Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better today, I'll tell you that. I'm so much better. I'm so much better now.
Listen, I get it.
Listen, thank you so much for being here tonight. I know how busy you are. As always, you always find time to shine with me and share gems with our gems and gents. And so, for those who are not familiar with you, please take a moment to introduce yourself. Let us know your hustle.
Absolutely. So, like Natima said, I am Javon A. Frazier, also known as Your Guiding Light. I am an author, speaker, womb wellness advocate, and yoni steam practitioner, and owner of the Hidden Jewel Wellness Boutique, where we help women rediscover their essence through the physical and energetic womb space. And so, my whole life is talking about helping women connect to their divine feminine through the power of their womb. So I'm super excited to dive into this topic tonight because it's literally what I do.
Yes, yes, I'm so here for it. And like I shared with them, you have helped me so much, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, even physically, with all the work that you do in the womb wellness space. And so I really hope that I talk less so that you can talk more tonight. Okay, because I know I'm a talker. All right, so I'm gonna bring out my next guest, my sister Miaka, Soulful Songbird. Where is the beauty? Hold on, let me get these screens together. Because they be playing with my life. They be trying to mess up my people. Hello, beautiful. Oh, I think you're muted. That's all right. It happens. I got you.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you so much. Listen,
You look
I'm
so
excited
beautiful.
with you all.
You look great. Listen, I was just talking about you. I don't know if you heard me backstage, and how you helped me in this savage journey that I'm in, and how you helped me in this recovery and finding my way back to me. And so I would love for you to introduce yourself to all of our new listeners and new subscribers. Let them know your hustle.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. My name is Miaka, Soulful Songbird. So I am the founder of Sister Girl University, where we are looking to help women to be developed, to be poised for successful living. Um,
Mhm.
we have had some downtime, but the comeback is going to be real. Listen, I've got some things in motion. We did have an event. We did have an event not long ago where we went to go see The Woman King.
Mm.
Ooh. So yes, I will be bringing some of those points out very, very soon.
Yes.
Sure that we're going to talk about that tonight just a little.
Mhm.
Um, I'm also an artist, and I'm part of a compilation project that will be coming out towards the end of this year. More details on that to come, but I'm super excited. And listen, I won't prolong the time because I know that I too am a talker.
Listen.
There's so much that God has put in me, and there's so many different hats that I wear. But I just like for who I am to kind of be on display. So you'll be able to kind of more so define what you see in me as we go.
Mhm. Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for being here, Mika. We are so happy to have you. Last but certainly not least, my sister, my friend, my chin checker. She be getting me all the way together. I had her on the phone for 2 hours yesterday, and she was helping me get my life. My sister, Tanisha Levon. Hello, greatness.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I feel like I wasn't chin checking last night.
A little bit, but I needed it. I look. I woke up a little sore, but I needed it honestly. It was in the most loving and sisterly way, though. It wasn't
Yes.
aggressive or assertive. It was more so, I love you, and here are some things you should consider while you're
Yes.
healing. So no,
Yes.
I needed it. But again, I know you've been a guest on Hustle and Shine before. Many
Yes.
of them have met you, but for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself and tell us your hustle.
So I am Tanisha Levon Dawson, and my husband. I have a lot, got a few, okay, and so one of them is I'm a metaphysician, which means I have a master's in metaphysics, and the focus is holistic life coaching, and relationships, but especially masculine and feminine energy. Then I am the founder of the group, The Divine Feminine, and a Reiki master, but I'm also a teacher and I'm also an author. And the next book that I have coming out is The Art of Feminine Allure. And the weird thing is that book's taken me a while because I'm not writing the chapters until I learn the lessons. So once I learn the lesson, then I write the chapter. So this one's it's been literally a year and a half in the works. And I think I'm on like chapter 6. And there's supposed to be 18. So as it comes my way, then I write the chapter, and then, so that's pretty much, who I am. You can follow me on Facebook at Tanisha Levon. You can join the group, The Divine Feminine, if indeed you are really active and wanting to cultivate, reignite, and reclaim that feminine energy, and if you want to attract a divine masculine man. So that's really what the group is about. It's really not about debating, and if we have different thought processes, then my group's really just not for you, and I'm okay with that. It's really about the woman that wants to reignite that femininity. We all have it in us. It's just sometimes it's buried under a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good. And listen, y'all need to subscribe. Y'all need to follow. Tune in. If y'all see her live, jump on, because I am blessed every time. Like every time.
Thank
I
you.
am blessed. One of the things that you taught a couple of months ago, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of it, but
that's okay.
It helped me to realize things that I didn't see in myself, which was how masculine I was, and how I was operating in that space unknowingly and unintentionally, and like not making excuses for myself. But I work in a very competitive, male-dominated space, right, in my corporate career. I'm a single woman and a single mother, which causes some of those masculine traits to come out as provider and protector, the things that usually the man does. And I remember you said, and I wrote this down, you said, women with too much masculine energy shows excessive masculine energy traits such as competitiveness, aggressiveness, and dominance. She is often very independent, goal-oriented, and directive. She is usually not very emotional or expressive and can be quite harsh and unyielding. And when I say, I was like, I think that's me.
I forgot that I even said that.
Listen, so I told you I take notes. Okay, I take notes. And I remember like having a mirror facing moment. And I said, that is so you. Like, that is you. And what I want us to talk about tonight in particular, I have 3 topics, and we're going to tackle the first one. And I want all of you to weigh in from the perspectives that you offer that have helped to heal me, to heal some of our listeners. And that is to focus on gender expectations and socially regressive behavior. Because again, working in certain environments and being a single mom or a single woman, we're often told that we have to be strong and we have to be independent and to take pride in it. And so we struggle with transitioning back or rebalancing that feminine energy when a man is in our life or a man is present. And so I want to tackle that. I want to talk about that. And I'm going to come to you first, Tanisha, because that was your quote. That was, you got me all the way together with that. And then I'm going to go around and give us an opportunity to talk. But where do you see women really struggling with stepping out of that masculine space and back into a feminine space, especially because of media's role in telling them this is how you should be,
Absolutely. I do think that, I think we talked about this yesterday, that, social media plays a part in a lot of things because nowadays everybody's following trends. And when there's a trend set, people just jump on the train like, oh, you leaving me? I'm on it. And then they hop on the train. And we talked about the fact that, though, remember our mothers grew up and we watched our mothers be this, and somewhere along the line, we got the message that what they were doing was not important. And we began to turn away from it, resent it, look down on it. And then I don't think that came from social media, though. I think that came from the media in general and the feminist movement. The feminist movement said, I don't need a man. So instead of being feminine, the feminist movement killed femininity.
Oh, come on.
And so now, once that feminist movement came, men didn't know how to act after that. Can I hold the door? Can I not hold the door? Should I open the door for you? Should I not open the door for you? I could open the door for myself. I could do this by myself. Like, you know how like the person that's handicapped and they got something to prove, so they don't want you to do nothing for them. They're like, I got it. Don't touch. No, I got it. I could do it myself. Like, that's the attitude that we started to have. It started to permeate, right? Because remember, women go back and forth between masculine and feminine energy very easily. Men don't really turn feminine easily. They gotta tap into it. They have to access it. And so they started to look at us and say, whoa, this generation of women is different. Well, and they had to learn to adapt and adjust. And now we're complaining about men that aren't stepping up and providing and protecting, not realizing that we set off the catalyst by being super independent. Now, don't get me wrong, Natima. I did one of this in my videos. I said, listen, years and years and years ago in the ice ages, you know, our husbands had to leave and go hunt food. And we were left with the children, right, to fend for the kids, cook for the kids. But if an animal came, I can't let me and the kids die. So I had to have some level of strength, right? So you can't just be so feminine that you're like Jinxie Cat. You have no, like, you can't be outside because you're going to get so hurt. So now, you know, you have to balance that out. You have to find the balance. The femininity is about the balance, not about letting go of one. Because when there is not a man around, you do have to be more aware. You do have to be more assertive. You cannot just be out here and get killed by the vices that are out here. It's just knowing when to turn it on and knowing when to turn it off. And I think that's where that balance has to come in.
Absolutely. Ooh, that was so good. And that is the truth. That's where I struggled finding the balance. I didn't know when to shut up, when to sit still, when to let him lead. You know what I mean? So, Javon, I'm gonna come to you because I saw
because she's itching.
Your hands. But I saw her. I was like, let me get to her.
Look at her rocking. She said,
we know you got something for this one. Yes.
I'm listening.
God, we already on you now. Come on.
All right. So there was so much that Tanisha said that I agreed with. I think for me, femininity my approach to femininity really kicked into gear, or I really understood the energies of feminine and masculine being in a same-sex relationship, right? Because it's two women, so it's not. I saw this post, and I want to read this post because someone that I love, and I'm not going to mention who she is because I love this queen, she's amazing, but she posted, women naturally get into their feminine space when they're in the presence of a dominant man. And I was like, okay. Or, and this is literally my response, or a woman's ability to flow into their feminine energy is natural and can be done by choice, with or without the influence or presence of any outside force. The reason why I said that is because, and I did a post the other day when I said, because that prompted a thought. When we begin looking at feminine and masculine as energies and not man versus woman, I think the disagreements and the relationship issues and the battles will begin to dissipate, right? Because for me, I've had both. I've had a man, I've had a woman, I've had a masculine man, I've had a masculine woman, right? I've been the masculine one, right? My sis, you know, you were there. My ex-husband used to tell me all the time, you don't need a man because you are one. And I used to say, well, one of us has to be. Amen. Thank you. So what I have learned is that we as Tanisha said, we have both energies within us, right? All levels of creation have both feminine and masculine energy. The kick, the gag, the strength, the power comes from knowing when and where to flow in between the two. I don't believe in balance. I believe in harmony. So for my wife and I, there are moments where she's the more feminine one and I'm the more masculine one. And there are moments where I'm the more feminine and she's the more masculine. But we're learning how to flow in between the two based on what we need. And for women, I feel like that's where we need to begin, you know, focusing our attention is if a man is not present, how can I still rest in my feminine, you know, when needed without needing an outside force? Or if I'm in my masculine more so because the situation calls for it, the moment calls for it, how to allow myself to be in that, knowing that my strength and power lies in the ability to flow in between the two. Not let me beat the sister up because you looking masculine. I had someone tell me I wasn't going to be a good wife because I wasn't soft enough. Whereas what we know, let's look at what it means to be a mother, right? Any of us who have had children, we're not soft when we're in the delivery room. We're not like, oh, ungy bungy. It's like warrior goddess, you know what I'm saying? And so feminine doesn't always have to mean soft. It can be like I am standing in my power as a woman and I know who I am and I'm comfortable in who I am and I can flow and be soft, or I can be fire and burn some shit up if I need to, because that's my right as a woman. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to kind of take away if there's a man or if there's not a man, or if, you know, sis, you can flow in between the both of them. Learn your cycles, learn your energies, learn your triggers, and then go from there.
That is such a good perspective. And I think the reason that I appreciate that most is because you talk about flowing in between the two. And that is something most of us struggle with. We don't know how to return to that feminine energy as the dominant energy in that moment. And that's what I really want to help the women with tonight, because that was such a struggle for me. I know at work, I have to operate in my masculine energy to be taken seriously, to be respected in the workspace. I have to operate that way as a single mother when I'm out with my kids and I'm watching everything, all the activity around me. And that could just be a New York thing, because New Yorkers, we ain't missing shit. We catching it. Somebody walking in front, looking shifty, picking up stuff. We gonna see it. But that's when I have to operate in that more masculine space. Where I struggle, sis, in particular, was when a man was present, a masculine energy, a dominant masculine energy was present. I was also masculine. And so we were doing this because both of us was fighting for control. Both of us was being competitive. Both of us were being aggressive. It just didn't work. And so I had to learn, okay, Tina, you home now. You're not at work anymore. You're not out in public with the kids and it's just y'all. You are now in a safe space with masculine energy that wants to be where he's supposed to be. So you need to go be where you're supposed to be. And that's where I struggled the most. So quickly, I want to come to you, Mika, and give you an opportunity to jump in. Javon, I'm going to come back to you, and then we're going to go to the comments. Go ahead, Mika.
Well, honestly, there's so much that has already been kind of put out there. I know more so for me, my struggle had been because I hadn't had a strong masculine presence at home, you know, coming up. So not even realizing that what I was really seeing of my mother was the more masculine. You know, my mother, I don't want to say was an RN. She is an RN. And there was one point in time, you know, she brought in the majority of the money. And there were times where she would say, no, this is my money. I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, And I mean, excuse me, and I didn't realize that there was any difference between masculine and feminine as far as like energies or anything. I just know I saw my mom being like boss, like growing up, at some point, I felt like, now I would think daddy would do a little bit more just from different projections and things that I've seen on television, so it's something how you end up taking some of those things on, not even realizing it, especially becoming a single parent. I remember, I've had friends to say like they wanted to ask me male advice. I had a little sister that was just like, you act like a dude, and I'm just like, no, I don't. Like, I'm just poetic, She was like, no, you be hollering at me. I'm like, I'm just poetic. I'm just, But I didn't realize that it was a part of me because of the things that I experienced being a little girl. I became what wasn't there. Like I felt like I stepped into a role because I did not have that protector, that type of presence. I became that. So like you said, Natima, like I'm so thankful for, and I call her the professor. So thankful for Miss Tanisha, because I have certainly learned as an adult. I just met her. I don't even know if it's been a year yet. But so thankful for the connection, because I have learned some things, and I was kind of like, that's a thing.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think that's the important part, is that we're open to learning. We're trying to understand. No one's going to master this. It's not going to be perfect, but at least being open-minded. Because now here's the thing, like Tanisha said, if you don't want to change and you are fine with the way that you are, then cool, stay the way that you are. But I wasn't okay with it. I was tired of being referred to as masculine. I did not like it. It's not a compliment. My independence was to a fault, right? It was a result of survival mode. And that's something else I want to talk about, that sometime again, those energies show up based on circumstances. A lot of my masculine energy came from survival mode, which was half of my adult life, actually a little bit more than half. And so that, that caused me to just kind of get stuck in that space, and I didn't know how to turn it off. And it cost me relationships. It cost me opportunities, because there were people, in the workspace or just other opportunities that were like, no, we want someone a little softer. And I'll even admit this, not as an excuse, but as an admittance, that a lot of my masculine energy also came from my upbringing in New York. We had to be hard there. And I see the memes all the time, joking, talking about, New York women are some of the hardest niggas out here. And it's unfortunate, because a lot of it is not even our fault. When you grow up in that environment, most of the homes were single mothers where I grew up. There were like 5 fathers on the entire block. Okay. There were mostly single women. And so again, when you see your mother, to Miaka's point, operating as both the masculine and feminine energy, at 14, 15, I didn't know what to call that. I just saw my mother as somebody handling all her business. You know what I mean? And it's not that my dad was absent in my life, but he was absent from the home. And so that played a big part on how I viewed life. Like, oh, I got to man up. You know what I'm saying? That term, you need to man up. Women heard it too. It wasn't just little boys when they fell and cried that they was told, man up, don't cry. Girls were told, hey, you need to man up. You need to take that. Because again, we're taught that survival mode. So I want to come back to you, Tanisha, and then Javon, and then I'm going to jump in these comments.
So, girl, it was good. I was sitting here reared back like, oh, keep talking. I'm in class today. But, as you and Javon, and even now Miaka, were talking, your thoughts stick to going. And, that was another one of the things that I was going to say, is also survival mode kills femininity. But to Javon's point a little earlier, what she said, which I love that word that she used the word harmony.
Harmony. Mm-hmm.
Right now. And I just did and I love that word. I just did a podcast on this. I think it was last week, and I think you came in a little late, Natima. But what I was saying was, what we don't realize is that these laws are always at work. There's laws of energy, there's spiritual laws, there's universal laws. They are always at work, right? And one of the laws, and this is from the laws of physics, this is just me being a metaphysician, is two of the same energies with the same particles can't exist in the same space at the same time. So you're always like this in a little dance. So even when you are in the presence of divine masculine energy, the harmony only comes from being the divine feminine, the yin to the yang, right? And I even said this to Javon's point in my video. I said, this has nothing to do with sexual orientation. This is energy now. We're not talking about male body. We're not talking about female body. We're talking about energetic laws. And the reason that the conflict and the back and forth and the ups and downs and the toxicity comes into relationships is because the two energies that are repelling to each other, because they're the same, are in the same space at the same time. And one is trying to get the other one to shift. And so it's trying to create that harmony that makes it go like that as opposed to like that. And so we don't realize that these arguments, these spats, these feuds that are coming up between us in our most loving relationships, we're like, why are we always fighting? Why are we always at each other's throats? It's really to recalibrate us back to harmony in a sense. You know what I mean? So that's all I wanted to say.
I'm going to come back to Javon because she over there feeling it. Go ahead, sis.
Listen, because when you start talking about recalibration, like that's yes, okay. So, and you know, Tima said something earlier that I wanted to really talk about, and you know, we're coming out of October, and y'all know all over these internet streets, everybody, myself included, has been talking about shadow work in the month of October, right? A lot of the times that resistance because energy knows energy, right? Like, despite how your physical body feels, when your spirit is in the presence of, like Tanisha said, you know, masculine energy, your feminine energy automatically wants to rise. The resistance comes from a lack of, you know, wanting to be vulnerable. The resistance comes from feeling unsafe. The resistance comes from, wait a minute, this is unfamiliar territory. What are you trying to do? I'm gonna lose my face card. And so again, a lot of what happened for me, and y'all know how I feel about my wife. I will always credit her for my growth, right? Because a lot of things I wasn't forced to deal with in past relationships that I had no choice but to deal with in this one, because now we got the same thing. We are like, who fault is it now? Who gonna do what? Who gonna take out the trash today? You know what I'm saying? And I just thank God for that opportunity to grow. But a lot of what I realized within myself was I'm fighting a war, or I'm fighting a battle that has nothing to do with the person I'm looking at. It has everything to do with the fact that I've never felt these feelings before. I've never felt, like, to your point, Natima, of having to protect yourself, having to be the single mother, having to be the sole provider. I've never had nobody say, baby, focus on your business. I got home. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're, you know, paying for everything and your only request is, you know, focus on you, I'm like, well, I gotta pay for something. Well, I want my own money. But girl, you fighting, it ain't even that deep. Like, girl, be soft and go build your business. You know what I'm saying? But that had nothing to do with her. That was my own insecurities. And so that is why I talk about womb wisdom, because a lot of the times, once you start connecting to your womb, which your sacral chakra, the most intimate parts of yourself, you know, what makes us feminine. Once you start connecting to that and doing that shadow work and that deep healing, flowing into your feminine becomes so much easier, because those things of, you know, masculine rises up a lot. Like all of us have said, there's a lack of, you know, presence of a man growing up, and we've all experienced it. So we had to take up that masculine role, right? Well, when you are comfortable in your feminine, you've healed yourself, and you know that I can trust in, you know, my higher power, God, spirit, source, energy, whatever. I don't have to fight because I know I'm divinely held, guided, and supported. Then I'm going to just rest in my feminine, and I'm going to let God my man, my woman, whoever, do what they gonna do because I trust that I'm good, right? There's a level of trust, there's a level of vulnerability, there's a level of intimacy. So a lot of the conversations that we're having about feminine and masculine, we also got to bring in shadow work. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Period. I'm gonna come back to you, Mia. I know you have something you wanted to add to that.
Oh my goodness. Just as she was speaking, one of the things that like came back to me was the times when, oh my gosh, the times when I had been expecting for the masculine to really be masculine. And what I mean by that, it was those times when I'm like, well, babe, like, you know, I kind of need you to do this. I kind of need you to lead. I kind of need you to. And there was a point in time where the response that I got was, I mean, I don't really like, tell me what to do. That's what he told me. He said, tell me what to do. And my response was, I'm not telling you what to do. You the man.
Right.
You're supposed to be leading. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had all these, what you're supposed to, and I wanted to just lay back and allow him to take charge. You know, I wanted him to flow in that. I didn't want to flow in it. And so, oh my God, just as you were speaking, like that was the thing that came to me, like those times where, like, and I wasn't thinking masculine versus feminine at the time. All I knew was there's a role that I know that you're supposed to play, and I don't do that.
Right.
Like, can you please do that? Because I know that there's a this where I'm supposed to be, and I'm like, I want to get to that. And I've not really operated in that. But yeah, can you just be that? Can you?
Right. Can you step into that, please?
Yes. But like, you know, sometimes you don't have the vocabulary. You know, you don't know necessarily what that is, and you don't want to. Like, I've never wanted any man that I've been with to feel less than. So I try to watch my wordplay, you know. I've tried to, you know, make sure that I make reference to him in a very honorable way, a respectful way. You know, but I'm like, oh, babe, I just need step up, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You know, so what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. We all got something to say on that. Go ahead, Keisha.
Well, I was going to say to Mika, but it was based on Javon's point. Was this is the conundrum that we face a lot of times as women, especially like where Mika's like, he's like, tell me what to do. But Javon said something very imperative earlier. She said, energy doesn't lie. So now here's the thing. No matter what we're doing when we're trying to operate in a space, spirit knows if we're operating in that space organically or not. So now here's what's happening. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you are honestly stepping into that feminine energy, and Javon said something so good earlier, because I was like itching. I was like, yes, because nobody talks about our womb. Nobody talks about that sacred space that you should be activating daily. Most women, do you know that we get so masculine that we forget we have a womb?
That part. And
then we wonder why we got uterine fibroids and tumors and BV and yeasties and all this stuff going on. Because we want to step into the masculine so much. Our womb is just like decrepit. It's not fresh. It's like a
Hustle and Shine church.
Okay, you know what? Let me go ahead, Javon. I'm gonna be quiet.
Listen. Okay, let me just Let me just say this, right? even in that situation, the example that you just gave, the beautiful, soulful songbird, right? Even in that, there is a way for us to still operate in our feminine, not be manipulative to get our man or spouse or whatever to do what we want to do. But if you ask your mate to do something, right, and they're like, babe, I really just don't understand. Let me explain something to you. Women are so powerful, so magical, so mystical, so mwah, that even in our divine feminine, baby, I can get you to do what I need you to do without nagging you, without yelling and screaming, without thank you, baby, I love you so much, without being like, what you mean you don't know what to do? How you not know what to do? You the man. If more women would step into their divine feminine,
come on,
and even if the man is like, baby, I really just don't understand. All right, baby, come here, let me show you. Show in such a loving and nurturing way, because that's feminine energy, is loving and nurturing.
Right.
Then he has no choice but to rise in his masculine, even if you teaching him how to do it. And not, well, I'm not about to raise no man. Well, let's be completely honest, beloved. At this point, we have one or two choices. We either have to teach each other and help each other get through this shit that we have created, or we just going to keep perpetuating the same shit. Now, which one you want?
Which one you want?
See,
because I'm so sick of it. I'm not going to do what his mama should have done. But baby, maybe she didn't know. And if you have a good somebody, and the only thing is nobody ever taught me, because we don't mind when the man is teaching the woman, but for some reason we don't want to teach the man.
Well, first of all, Javon,
you're not coming back to my show no more, Javon.
The mother is the child's first teacher in general. So if the mom is the child's first teacher and she didn't know, then how does the man know? But here's another thing too. Men don't, it's not about not showing or teaching the man because he's the man. Men don't mind being helped, but when they ask for it, see, we have it where we feel like, I'm just going to tell you, because the first and foremost, you need to be doing this. And second of all, you need to be doing this. But when they
which is still masculine energy.
Which is still masculine. When I help my husband when he asks for help. So when he says, hey, I need you to, can you show me this? Can you look this up for me? I don't know what this word is. He doesn't feel belittled because he asked for me to help. That's the purpose of being a helpmeet. But we help without the order to help. And then we wonder why they resent it, because now we're little boying them. We're not teaching, we're not helping, we're not help meeting, we're emasculating him.
That part.
Yeah.
See, sis, like, and that, like, the person, like the scenario that I had mentioned, I made mention of, I was 24. I was 24 at the time. And I totally, for me, like being 41 now, I feel like I missed the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I say that I missed the moment because I did not realize that when he told me, I don't know, and when he said to teach him, to tell him, like, that was him being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I've not been taught, nor had I been exposed to what a man's vulnerability was, or what to do with it.
Wow.
41-year-old me, if I were to hear a man say that, I would be like, oh, opportunity. That's how I would see that. But at the time, I was just like, come on up a little higher. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now. No, that's right.
But it's like, when you don't have the correct tools and you don't really know what to do with that, you mishandle it. Like I was even thinking back to another relationship that had dissolved, and one of the things that he told me was, like, he felt like I was a really good woman, but he said he didn't know what to do with it. And so, like, looking back, hindsight is like 2020, and it's like now, like, I can't even be upset because you told me from your own mouth you didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to handle it. So it's like I've learned how to extend grace
That part.
in those times now,
That part.
instead of being angry that you mishandled something that you already confessed that you didn't know how to handle.
That you didn't know. Listen. And you know what? I don't know who this is for, but I feel it in the room. So I feel led to
Me
say it and
too.
share it. One of the things that I learned, I know when I'm in my feminine space and when I'm operating and flowing naturally in that feminine space. And I also can recognize when I'm being more masculine. But like Javon said, my pride would not allow me to go return to where I needed to be because I felt like, well, I'm doing all these things in a relationship. I'm supposed to have this spot. And it legit cost me my relationship. So I want to help somebody. If that's you, don't let your pride push away the love that you've been praying and asking God for, because I promise you it will. And
Come on, sis.
One of the things I want to say is when you don't know who you are, like Javon said, this is why that shadow work and that introspective work is so key. Because when you know who you are and you're self-aware and you're in tune with self, anytime you see energy operating that doesn't belong to you, you won't touch it because it ain't yours. And see, that's a problem a lot of women have. They don't know them. So when they see things happening, they think, oh, I'm supposed to be controlling that. No, you're not. That's not for you. That doesn't belong to you. And so when you become self-aware and you see things, it's like when you go to pick up an order, right? And they call the name of somebody else, even if the order sounds exactly the same, that ain't your order.
Not yours.
So leave it alone. And that's how it is when we are struggling and battling and fighting for that energy and fighting for that dominance, because it's like that doesn't even belong to you. And so I had to learn that the hard way, that Tima, certain things didn't belong to you. And one of the things I also want to offer to the women listening, man, I hope y'all are here too. Gents, you're welcome. But this is really for the ladies. There is nothing wrong with being soft and being feminine. It doesn't diminish who you are as a woman. You can still be the woman, goddess, warrior, and still play it soft when you need to. I remember when I was in my last relationship, my ex had come home from work and he had this look on his face, and something in me, my energy, literally started to exchange with his. And it told me he doesn't need you to be a sexy girlfriend. He needs you to be a nurturer right now. And so the way I embraced him was more of a loving, nurturing hug, opposed to that, breast rubbed up against them, welcome home, sexy hug, because he didn't need that. And literally, he broke down in my arms because he felt exactly what he needed, because I felt exactly what he needed. Had I not been in my feminine space in that moment, I would have missed the opportunity to hold him and help him to heal from whatever he was carrying from that day. And so, ladies, when you say, why my man got a work wife and why he always talking to his female best friend, because you are missing opportunities to love him, to nurture him, to support him in your feminine space, because you're too busy being masculine. And I'm not saying this to judge you, but to help you, because I missed it. Okay, I got it now. I swear to God, I got it now. Tanisha, Javon, and Mia can make sure I got it now. But I want to help you. Go ahead, Javon. I see you raising your hands.
Because I had this thought, and then that's why, spirit is so beautiful, because I had this thought that I wanted to talk about, and then you segued into it so beautifully. Because we're talking a lot about feminine energy, and I think it's important to maybe bring up the characteristics of feminine energy, so that we understand, right? So what I want to talk about, and I'm going to try to be brief, there are 4 main archetypes or 4 main energies that are within or up under the umbrella of feminine energy. Okay. And I think what has helped me is understanding these main energies, that is like, oh, okay, so I'm able to flow in my feminine more effectively. The first one is the maiden. The maiden, she is the young one, she's the naive one, she's the pure one, the innocent, the virgin one. She's sometimes a little bit, like I said, naive, and so sometimes she gets herself into stuff. That's the one that kind of harbors a lot of those childhood hurts and traumas, right? We all have the maiden within us. Then you have the mother. The mother energy, that's that nurturing one. She takes care of everybody. She makes sure everybody is good. She's not out and about ripping and running. She's taking care of home. She's holding it down. She's building things up. Okay. We have that as well. Then there is your wild woman. Your wild woman is exactly what she sounds like. She is wild. She is sexy. She is flirtatious. She is rebellious, right? She is headstrong. She knows what she wants and she goes after it. And then you have your wise woman. Your wise woman, she's the one that's like, she's lived, she sits back, she rests. I envision the wise woman as she's on her porch, she's rocking in her rocking chair, the sun is setting, the fields, like she doesn't have a care in the world, she don't got nowhere to go, she ain't rushing, right? That's the one, she always has the words of wisdom. I consider the wise woman to be your higher self. So the guiding light is my inner wise woman, right? If that makes any sense. Why am I sharing this? Because to the various points, if you listen to everything that we've shared, there are multiple situations where it was still feminine energy, but just different of those archetypes, right? Tanisha talked about, more of the wise woman, knowing, when to say things, when not to say things. Natima talked about, her man didn't need the sultry wild woman. He needed that mother energy, right? Is it Malika? I don't want to mess it up. She also said some points about, hey, in that moment, he was like, teach me, nurture me. That's the mothering energy. So if we understand those sub characteristics of feminine energy, then we'll understand which one is needed at that time. So you're not less than because right now you're soft, or you're not wrong because right now you're protective and mothering, or you're not wrong because right now, you got words of wisdom, you ain't trying to turn up. There's different avenues and situations that call for different energies or different characteristics of feminine energy. Does that make sense?
Come on, you teach.
Okay, so glad.
So I just wanted to share that, because honestly, understanding the archetypes or energies up under feminine energy, because I had a real struggle when people kept telling me to be soft. Like I struggled with, if I'm not soft, I'm not feminine, because it was like, but what about when I'm with my kids? I'm not soft when I'm with my kid, but that's the mothering energy is still feminine. Yeah, it's still feminine. Now, when you are at the nagging, logistical, we got to do this, that's masculine. Come on. So understand, because there's a very fine line between the mothering energy and masculine energy. Very fine line. So again, understanding more, diving deeper into those, the four main archetypes. If you want to look it up, they're called the four main archetypes. Doing a deeper dive into that will help you understand, like, okay, wait a minute, because that was as my sis would say, a chin check. Like, wait a second, Javon. You're doing too much. You're nagging. You're not being the mother. You're being the nagger. They don't need that. Even with my wife, like, she don't need me to be like. There are so many times where I can, in a lovingly way, kind of get her to. Because think about the mother. I've always told my children, when it comes to them, they're like bowling, right? They're the bowling alley going down the lane of life, and I am the bumpers. My job is to kind of just, stay over here. Oh, come, so that they don't fall in the gutter. It's the same thing with feminine energy. I don't have to, you should have done it. Oh, wait, baby, have you ever considered, that's my favorite, have you ever thought about, and then you're still loving, you're still nurturing, you're still operating in your feminine, and they're still getting what they need from you so that they can rise in their masculine.
Yeah. Come on in here. Y'all better teach.
Right. Come on.
Listen. So it is almost 9:00. Okay. Clearly we didn't get to topics 2 or 3, which is totally fine, right? Because I want to address the needs in the room. I do want to jump in the comments real quick. Right. We need a part 2. I do want to jump in the comments real quick, and then hopefully if y'all have time to go over just a little bit, I would love to at least get to topic 3, because y'all know I like to stitch after I cut. But let's just see who's in the room. I want to show some love to all the people that are here. Ooh, we got a lot of love. Facebook user says, hey, Facebook user. We don't know who y'all are. Hey. Sierra Berry, one of my new diamonds, says, dope. Thank you for being on tonight. Let me see. Facebook user says, beautiful panel, right? Hey, my sister's gorgeous. Thank you so much. So appreciate that. Nikita Baptiste says, right, like we have to convince ourselves to be a strong Black woman. Seriously, strong Black women. We really do. It's the fine line between the two. Our brother Mel from DBDS, hey bro, he says, well said, my classy sisters. Thank you so much. I'm gonna take one more. Facebook user says, I really appreciate this, ladies. I'm really learning a lot. I got gas money. Can one of you just drop me off?
I'm done.
I can't even just playing. I'm done. Y'all better come on.
Not I got gas money.
Look, somebody said, Facebook user said, does Javon have an offering plate? No, seriously.
Period.
On,
I'm just saying.
Okay. So listen.
What kind of church
is right? I'm clearly gonna have to work on a part 2. Like clearly, we're gonna have to come back with this. But I do want to leave our viewers and our listeners with some encouragement in using their woman card. Like Javon, you just touched on it, and so it's a great segue where you talked about, the 4 main archetypes of our feminine energy. You introduced us to the maiden, the mother, the wild woman, and the wise woman. Thank you. I so needed that. But what are some other ways, those in particular who struggle with it, how can we start to flow more organically and more frequently into that, that harmony, as you said, Javon, between the two? I'm gonna come to you first, Javon, and then I'll go in my boxes here.
Absolutely. So for me, it literally was connecting to my womb space, right? Because that is the key to all things femininity. And so some people might be like, well, how do I do that? It's literally, and I'm not going to talk about what the womb space is and all that. We did that in a different podcast, so go find it on the Diamond Writers. But literally like sitting with the most intimate parts of yourself and getting silent, right? And first realizing like what is even there that you need to maybe get rid of, that you maybe need to tweak a little bit, or that you maybe need to use that like, oh, that's a good thing. Let me use that to build upon. And then from there, again, if you understand the characteristics of feminine energy, that makes that introspective journey a little bit easier, because now you have somewhat of a starting point. So you have, like, logistically speaking, because I know some of us still operate in our masculine. So you got logistically speaking where to start. Start with the 4 main archetypes, get silent with your womb, see what's there. Okay. And then from there, connecting with your womb space and listening to it more, you'll begin to understand your own strength and power to know when you're in alignment with your femininity and when you're out of alignment with your femininity.
Wow. That's good. Thank you for that. Tanisha, I'm gonna come to you.
So as you asked the question, it's a really intricate question to answer, how we can start to use our woman card, because there's so many ways, right? And so I would like to say, one, and to Javon's point, connecting with your spirit and or your womb. A lot of women don't just sit and create space for themselves. Like, what happens when you sit? Do you even know? You don't always have to have the TV on. You don't always have to have the radio on. You don't always got to be scrolling your phone. What are you doing when you're sitting and it's dark? What are your thoughts saying? What is your spirit saying to you? What vulnerabilities do you have? This is where you can start to like kind of become one with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't take that time to kind of sit with that. Also, another thing that helped me was prayer, meditation, dancing. See, a lot of times things that we do that's supposed to be feminine get perverted. Like twerking is not bad. That is activating the chakra space. However,
Yes.
we use it wrong because there's another way that our bodies can be moving to activate that space. But we out here, what are we doing?
Not to look back.
What are we doing?
Right.
So it's the reason that that's there because that's an innate, primal, primate movement that women should be doing actively by themselves in their home, dancing to some drums, change your clothes, listen to bells and certain sounds, change the way you dress a little bit. Like these are things that will start to activate in you. It seems so small, but like don't always wear black. I know that's like I'm a hairdresser, so black is like the universal color. But I had to start, but that just what it did was it made me command the room because I needed to be in my masculine when I was in a certain room. And now I'm starting to realize like those colors bring something out of me. It brings something inside out. You know what I'm saying? So like even today, like right now I have on lilac and I said to you earlier, I feel so calm. And we don't realize that these things do something to feminine energy. Colors, sounds, movements. So do things to start to like activate those things. And then always your cheat code for your best in women energy outside of the mother archetype, because there are the 4 main ones and then there's a few others like that are in there, like goddess and lover, and there's a whole bunch out there. So honestly, I think I posted that in my Divine Feminine group, like the archetypes and how many, and there's a quiz you can take to see which one you operate in more so. But figuring out that archetype, but also just understanding that the main components of yin and yang. Yin is water, moon, mysterious, receiving, dark, and sun, which is yang, doing, sun, active energy. So usually when you're in this receiving space, you're automatically
your feminine
and your feminine energy. So that's like not saying you have to be receiving all the time, because we're not self-centered and self-absorbed, but that will be your cheat code to at least know when you're being gracious with that feminine energy and activating our gift of intuition, our gift of discernment, our gift of spirit, our gift of communication, our gift of being able to move things metaphysically and spiritually more so than the masculine can. They move things in the physical realm. We shift things in the metaphysical realm. So when we swap one power for the other, we're kind of like a counterfeit version of theirs. Like, I can't build a skyscraper. I can't do this brick wall like he did. I gotta read a book. I gotta watch some YouTube videos, and I'm gonna be tired before it's over. But understanding when you're receiving that you're in more of your feminine energy, and try to be gracious with that. We get to people do things for us. We're like, no, it's okay. People try to relieve us of something. No, it's okay. I got it. It's okay. I got it. Learn to just receive and be okay with it. And that's it.
That is so good.
That's so good.
Mia, says, how can the gyms use their woman card?
Yes, ma'am. It sounds like Javon wanted to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, sis.
Oh,
yes,
I was just gonna, no. I was just gonna say, I always tell my clients, just set yourself up to receive. You wanna learn how to flow into your divine feminine. Set yourself up to receive, to Tanisha's point. And that doesn't have to be you receiving from somebody else. Like, send yourself flowers, make up your bed, leave a note for yourself when you come home. Like, if you're single, do those things for yourself, because I'm gonna tell you what you're doing. You're showing God, spirit, source, the energy, the universe, that you're ready to receive. So don't wait for somebody else to do it. Do it for yourself. Get yourself in position. Matter of fact, I just posted that today. Get yourself in position, because it shows God, the universe, whatever. Like, oh, okay, she's in her divine feminine. Well, somebody got to fill the role of the masculine. Hello, God. Hello, spirit. Hello, source.
It got to be you.
So yes, I love Yes, I love that
Yes.
Tanisha said that. Set yourself up to receive. Absolutely.
And start to look for the signs. Like a lot of times we don't look for
Yes.
the signs. Like once you set yourself up to receive, watch. You're gonna go to the gas station. Some gonna be like, "Ma'am, can I pimp your gas?" You go to Walmart, "Ma'am, I got this for you. You want me to grab your bag? You want me to grab your water?" And then you like, "Wait, why is
Absolutely.
the universe serving me like this?" What?
Because energy
What is
doesn't
happening?
lie.
Energy
part.
doesn't lie.
That part.
Yes.
Yes. I'm
That
sorry.
is
Come
so
on,
I'll be
right.
Mika.
quiet.
Come on, Songbird. Come on.
Sorry for them. Thank you for them gems, lady. Sorry, Mika. Go ahead. Them extra gems. We needed those.
That's okay. Listen, keep going, y'all. I'm taking notes.
Me too. Me too.
Come on, Mika.
Okay, so of course I took notes. So what I have is like just understanding, because I think sometimes we don't flow in our feminine just because of a lack of understanding.
Mhm.
And sometimes we abuse the feminine because we don't understand. And sometimes, like we talked about in the beginning of the show, how we're almost taught certain things from the media. So I just want to just put out there some real myth busters. So sexy doesn't equate feminine.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And
Help them out.
that is definitely something that is put in the media.
Yes.
There's so much where, I mean, the boobs are sitting up under the chin, and I mean everything is exposed, and it's just like, this is, I'm being feminine, I'm being sexy,
Mm,
and that
I'm tired of it.
that's not what that means. Like, you
No.
absolutely be a gorgeous, feminine, graceful,
Yeah.
honest woman without everything.
Show.
Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, if you want to be sexy, like, you don't have to show everything in order to be sexy. Like,
Right.
sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just want to see what
The
radiates
idea.
out.
Mhm.
Right. Not just, I mean, he should be able to look, and his boy ain't like, "Oh yeah, man, that right there." No, everybody shouldn't have a file card on you.
That part.
Um, and I also want to, another myth buster is like, being feminine does not mean that you're helpless.
That part.
So you don't have to be this woman in, despair that needs to be rescued from this castle, and this very messed up situation, and
Right.
some of my, some of that, I hate to say it, but like some of it also comes from fairy tales and things that we learned as little girls.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh my God, like that would be great. Like, oh, Prince Charming, and all these wonderful things, like coming into womanhood, really. That's the myth buster. And my last would be, being independent does not mean that you don't need anyone.
Come on. That's a
And
good one.
so many times, don't get me wrong, like, we love those INDPE, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
at one point, like, everybody had an INDEP, everybody had a Miss Independent kind of thing going, and it was like women were praised for that, and Neo came with that real.
Right.
Miss Independent.
Exactly.
Listen, I love her, and then Jamie came on the scene. I'm like, yeah, she got her own. Hey, yeah.
Right.
So yes, I love the
They
song.
created
But I'm
that.
just saying, like, it's so much that's put into our culture
Mhm.
that is supposed to, that helps people define their thought process. Excuse me, and people have taken that on as though it's like, this is a biblical absolute. Like, this is how I'm supposed to govern myself, and this is how I walk, and I'm supposed to do as a woman. And it's not true. Like, and you can be great, but it doesn't mean that you have to say, I don't have to have a man. I don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the truth is, like, they play a role, we play a role. And like we said tonight, you know what I'm saying, just about the masculine and the feminine energy. Like, you don't have to allow anything, like being feminine doesn't take anything from you. It adds.
It adds. Come on.
It's that strength. Yeah.
That is so good.
That's
Wow,
right,
ladies.
Mika.
Y'all have touched it all. And I mean, listen, my listeners know I'm honest with myself and them. I am not an expert in this space. That's why I brought on the guests that I did. So please make sure that you go and follow them, connect with them on social media, subscribe to their YouTube channels, get involved. If you want more information, start here. They already have done the research, they've done the work, and they've really educated themselves so that they can pour into you. I can only share from my own experience and what I want to share in terms of how I tapped in or found harmony, if you will, in my feminine energy is one, I healed from my past. I healed from all of the situations and circumstances and experiences that reduced my feminine energy and caused me to operate more frequently in my masculine energy. A lot of that needs to be healed, whether it's survival mode, whether it's watching a single mom do it all, so you didn't have masculine presence, whatever it is that created those wounds and those traumas in your past that causes you to be more masculine, heal from that and watch how much of it will release that feminine energy that's subdued because of those traumas. The other thing, I expanded my self-awareness. I started to look at different pieces and different perspectives of myself. And that helped me to see those areas that were more delicate, that were more gentle, that were more feminine. And I started to operate in those spaces more frequently. I wanted to be those versions of myself more often. I also ignited my creativity. That helped a lot because, like Tanisha said, those are natural feminine gifts that we have. And so operating in my creative space caused me to be more feminine longer periods of the day. I gained clarity of my purpose. Me understanding my purpose, I understood to operate in my purpose, I had to be more feminine. And so that helped a lot. And then lastly, I empower my future. And my future, I want to be somebody's wife. I want to be somebody's woman. I want to be somebody's safe space. And I need to do that from a feminine standpoint. And so really just kind of empowering my future has helped me to stay more focused in that feminine energy. So that's all I have tonight. I wish we could go longer, but we're already 15 minutes over. I'm hearing part 2 in my head. So I may have these ladies back again before the season is over. Again, thank you so much, Tanisha, Mika, Javon. You really poured so much. I have a whole page of notes over here, okay? So you helped get me together. Thank you for being significant and instrumental in my Savage healing journey and helping me return to self, to be a better woman. I could not have done it without the 3 of you. I am not going to cry. I'm strong. Look, I'm being in my masculine space. Let me be strong. Please, again, gems, gents, go follow these ladies. Go connect with them on social media. Tanisha Lavon, Javon A. Frazier, Mika Soulful Songbird. Make sure that you go and support them. And as always, until the next time, what do? We hustle
and shine.
Mwah, good night.
Yes.
Good night.